Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Dalton Smith becomes the new British super lightweight champ. He stops Sam on MAISON in 6 rounds, 3 knockdowns, dominated the fight from start to finish. Now, during the build-up to the fight, it was pretty obvious that the thing against MAISON was relatively short notice, and the fact that he was he just hadn't had any work for nigh on 3 years. I mean, he had one 4-round run around, I think, in 2022 against Serge and Bomo, but he hadn't had any real work since he lost a 10-round decision to K. Prosper. That was in 2019 in September. So inactivity was a huge negative for Sam MAISON. But he's not without talent. Interestingly, two of his 3 defeats coming in were by stoppage. And one of them was back in 2014. I know it's a long time ago, but he got knocked out in 2 rounds by Michael Mooney. So Journeyman knocked him out. And he got stopped in 2 over in Spain by Luca Giacon. But he did have a draw against K. Prosper before losing the unanimous decision. Both those fights were in 2019. And he's one of those fighters where you got the feeling with more promotion, with more of a push, with more people backing him, he could have perhaps had a more prosperous career. But inactivity, I mean, you can't buy the experience of being in the ring. The inactivity clearly went against him. He was a live underdog, but I think a rank underdog. You know, good, decent level, British level fighter. But yeah, this was being set up for Dalton Smith to win the British title in Sheffield, in his hometown. And sure enough, he did that. Now, first 2 rounds, you got the feeling, it was almost like listening to a time bomb ticking. They were like mirror images of each other, because MAISON is a southpaw, Smith orthodox, both playing cat and mouse for 2 rounds. I mean, there was a jab here and maybe a right hand, a tentative right hand hit, there, and you just got the feeling that there was going to be some sort of explosion. Someone was going to have to make a move and was going to have to take the initiative. And in the 3rd round, that explosion happened, because there was a power left jab from Smith, followed by a heavy right cross, and MAISON was on the floor, and it was quite a heavy knockdown. He got up. For a guy who'd been stopped 2 out of 3 defeats previously, he was fine. He was rattled, but not rubber-legged. Saw out the round. Clearly a 10-8 round for Dalton Smith. And then for the next 2 rounds, that was the 3rd, for the 4th and the 5th round, you just got the feeling, in fact, you got it for virtually the whole fight, that even though MAISON had the right tactics, he did let his hands go just occasionally in little pockets, little maybe 2, 3, 5-second pockets of activity, and he was when he threw caution to the wind, but when he was more proactive, when he moved forward, when he dared to let his hands go, he looked like he did catch Dalton Smith a couple of times, but you just got the feeling for the whole fight that Smith was the more naturally talented fighter, was going to win this fight because he just had a bit more of everything. Not that MAISON was a bad fighter, not that he was totally outclassed. They talk about the game being about levels. You just got the feeling that, as decent as a British level fighter as MAISON is, and he deserved the British title shot, no doubt about it, he wasn't going to beat Dalton Smith, because Dalton Smith was faster, more accurate, feinted better probably, perhaps a higher ring IQ. You just got the feeling he was a couple of steps ahead in all departments, which is not to say that MAISON looked totally outclassed. He didn't. He was just losing the rounds just because he's not quite as talented. And then in the 6th round, the boom was lowered because Dalton Smith, and it was exactly the same combination as the knockdown in the 3rd round. Left hand, jab, I always call them power jabs. They're more like battering ram jab, followed by the right hand, and Smith, MAISON is on the floor. In the previous round, the 5th round, it had got to the point where MAISON's face was a mask of blood. I think it might have been the 4th or the 5th, where his face seemed to sort of explode with blood coming out of his mouth, his nose. It was on his forehead, the side of his eye. Although I don't think he had a cut eye. I think the blood just got smeared all over his face. But in the 6th round, there was that knockdown, power left hand, right cross, over goes MAISON, exactly the same as in the 3rd round. Gets up, again, doesn't appear to be seriously stung. Not on rubber legs, but Dalton Smith finishes the show. You guessed it, left hand, right hand, which knocks MAISON down for a 3rd time. But as he's on his way down, there was a 2nd right hand that re-punctuated. It was actually a 3-punch combination, left hand and 2 right hands, and that sent MAISON sprawling. I mean, it almost spun him round. He hits the floor and the referee stops it. Doesn't even bother counting. So MAISON's going to be disappointed. Smith was elated. He's British champ. I think I'm right in saying MAISON's from Sheffield as well. But, you know, clearly Dalton Smith is the big star. He's got the Matchroom and the DAZN backing. I'd like to see MAISON come back and fight for the British title again, maybe have an eliminator and then fight for it. But there's no doubt Dalton Smith he's heading upwards. They're grooming him for big things. Super lightweight, yeah. Is he world level yet? No, but at 25, he's got plenty of time to get there. Sam MAISON's 31, so the clock's ticking for him, but not for Dalton Smith. If I was Smith, I'd be looking to defend the belt, maybe win the Lonsdale belt outright, and then go for maybe pick up the Commonwealth on the way there, go for the European, and then maybe over the next 2 or 3 years he can move into world class. But there's no hurry for the kid. He's got lots and lots of time ahead. It was a good performance against an inactive but, you know, good level British fighter. I do think that sometimes it's the manner in which you get your work done that suggests something more, if you know what I mean. And I think Dalton Smith showed that. He's very sharp, spiteful punches, and showed a lot of patience. For a younger fighter, he showed a lot of patience, which I think probably MAISON was trying to lull him into almost lull him to sleep, you know, lull some of the urgencies out of him, and then maybe was going to bring it on strong in the second half of the fight, but he didn't get there. But I think the concentration level and the work that Dalton Smith did bodes very well for the future. I think it was good performance, very good performance. So that was the fight, new British champ. What did you think of it? Did you see it? It was on DAZN. Let us know what you thought. As always, thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the like button. As always, thank you, and we will speak again soon. Bye for now.